Yo, what's good, y'all? It's your boy Filth, and I'm back with another video. Today, we will be revisiting one of my favorite albums, T-Lop 4, otherwise known as The Life of Pierre 4. This album is written and produced by rapper/producer Pierre Bourne. This album came out June 2019, and as of the recording of this video, it is March 2024. So it's been a little bit since this project came out, which is why I want to revisit it. I'm just going to be giving my thoughts and opinions on this project as a whole and how well it stood the test of time. Keep in mind that this is one of my favorite albums of all time, so that's going to play into my review of it. But at the end of the day, it's my opinion, it's my channel, who cares? So I'm not going to waste any more time. We're just going to get right into this. Yeah, this one's going to be a tough one just because I really like a majority of these songs. Obviously, not every song is perfect, but there's not really many misses here for me. Yeah, so one of my favorite songs off this project is Feds. Feds is the third song in this track listing, and it falls under one of the categories I like to call a Pierre classic. And essentially, it's just Pierre making a really good hook over a very catchy beat and whining. And I really like that about his music. The main theme of Feds is nosiness. The song is basically about a woman that Pierre knows or has some relationship with that constantly goes through his phone, prompting him to ask the question, "What did you find?" which is the main feature of this hook. What really draws me to the track, more so than the subject matter, is how Pierre's vocals came in. He finishes each line dragging out the word, which kind of adds to his whininess on the track, which I like. He is complaining. That paired with the xylophone, which is extremely hypnotic, just makes for a really great and catchy song that not just me, but a lot of other Pierre fans kind of gravitate towards. This song is a perfect example of why T-Lop 4 is so great, and that's because it's a simple song. Pierre's not trying to do too much as an artist or a producer when he's making these tracks, which is what I really like about the song and the project as a whole. There's no beat change up, there's no grand variation throughout the song. It's him picking a nice and catchy flow and repeating that process, which is like candy to someone's ears. He uses the same philosophy on my next favorite track, Stereotypes. Stereotypes beat, man, that's nothing to play with. Can't even lie, it's got me speechless, bro. That beat is candy. When I say candy, I actually mean candy. That beat, it's like a video game, like something I really like about Pierre's beats and songs in general is that he always finds these ways to throw in these random sound effects. Like, for example, on Stereotypes, the sound effect is glass breaking. Like, if you listen closely, you don't even have to listen that closely. If you listen to it, you can hear glass breaking after a bar. And that type of stuff really just adds more personality to his music to me. Stereotypes is one of my favorite songs, not only because of the production, but because of Pierre's vocals once again. He paces himself very well with the beat, and he pairs his voice very well with the beat as well. The beat is very playful and nostalgic in a way. It reminds me of like a 90s to early 2000s Game Boy game like theme song for the beat. And my God, does it just work? This is just a good example of a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Like, you put one there, you put the other there, you slap them together, you just got a great song. And that's Pierre and this damn beat. And for my next favorite song, I'm gonna have to go with Ballad, bro. Ballad is just one of my favorite bag songs. Whenever I'm in my bag, I'm in my head, Ballad is typically on that playlist when it's going on. And the reason why it stands out to me in front of all these other great tracks is because of the lack of an 808 or a heavy drum. I don't know if I'm using the term right, but there's no drums on this song. It's just straight a guitar looped and Pierre vocals. And once again, you're seeing this theme of simplicity carry over to this song. And on this song, Pierre's just giving his opinion on what love is and if it's worth it for him. What I really like about this track is how Pierre tries to bring his audience into his life. Yes, we all experience love, but we don't experience it the same way that Pierre does. Since he's a rapper and he has a lot of money, he has to be wiser with his decisions on who he chooses to love and give attention to. I think Pierre does a great job of portraying this message to his audience and presenting it to us in a way that we can relate to, while also having really good production on this track. This is my go-to bag song, and if you take a listen to it, you'd understand why. I have a ton of more favorite songs, but for the sake of timing, I'm just gonna go over one more of my favorite songs. And I forgot to mention the deluxe. I'm not gonna include the deluxe in this revisit of the project because I'm solely talking about what dropped in June 2019. Just know that I am fully well aware of the greatness that is Chill Out 4 Deluxe, and that's also why I'm not putting it in this video. It is so great, it deserves its own. And on to my last favorite track, well, not really my last favorite, but the last one I'm going to cover in this video, and that is How High. In this song, Pierre brings us back to his life as a college student in Queens and how he was living out with his bros, Roman, as he said. And I really love this song because of how much I relate to it. I just graduated from school this past year, so I know full and well what it's like being a broke college student. I was one of them. And what I really do enjoy about this track is how down to earth Pierre is on this song. He really does a great job of bridging the gap between himself and his viewers to the point where I feel like I was out there roaming with Pierre too. And while the beat may not be my favorite type of production on this project, it gets the job done and it's really calm and relaxing to just hear. If y'all ever heard a slowed down reverb version of this song while you're studying late at night at school, you know exactly why it hits. And I'm gonna just throw in one more song in this revisit, and that's Horoscopes. I would feel guilty and horrible if I made this video and I left this song off of my review. I absolutely love this song. I love it. If I were gonna put someone on the Pierre, this would be the song I'd play. This again is a Pierre classic song. Great hook. He's whining on the beat and the production goes crazy. Remember them times I was hitting your line, baby come vibe, let's spend time? That boy was different when he made that bar. That was different. That right there is one of the main reasons I resonate with his music so much. He just knows how to say stuff, and even if it doesn't make sense, it makes sense. And I could really talk about this song all day, but I'm gonna just stop and we're gonna talk about my least favorite songs, which is none. I don't have a song I dislike or hate on this project. Every single one of these songs will get played in my car at some point this year. And it has been like that for the last 5 years since this project dropped. There has not been a year where not one of these songs has missed my rotation. Not one. And with that being said, now I want to transition into my overall thoughts of the project. To start, I want to say that this project is extremely cohesive. Every song that was placed on that track list has a place on the album, which is what I love. Each song from the beginning to the end flows into one another. And Pierre, like most Pierre fans know, most of his albums have transitions, but this album's transitions specifically, to me, are the best. He does a great job of incorporating the next song's beat into the last one, making it so the transition is seamless. You could play this album for somebody that's never heard it straight through, and they'd wonder if it was all one song. And another thing that I really do enjoy about this project, and Pierre as an artist, is the fact that he comes across really human in this project. Yes, he's flexing, he's doing all this stuff, but to me, he comes across as someone that was a regular person and then became famous through hard work. And I like that a lot. I would be the same way if I were him. A lot of his bars are simplistic, but they do a good job of catching you and getting in your ear. A lot of these songs are really catchy and the hooks just go really well with these beats. And that's a big part of why this project is a classic. The beats and the production and the mixing and the transitions, the overall production of this project is just ahead of its time, if I could say it best. Pierre does a great job of combining R&B and alt trap production into his music on this. A lot of these beats give off like an early 2000s vibe in terms of like the subject matter and his corniness, but it's a modern day trap feel with the drums and the hard hitting 808s. It's a really interesting experience. It's enriching to hear, honestly. As I mentioned before, T-Lop 4 came out in June 2019, and right now we're in March 2024. So a lot has changed since he dropped this project. I think when T-Lop 4 first came out, Pierre's sound was less saturated than what we see today. This was before a lot of the copycat producers came up and kind of jacked Pierre's sound from him. Regardless of that though, I do think T-Lop 4 held up well. I think the production and his vocal cadences kind of go with what's popular right now in music, and I still think that if the project came out today, it would still be well received. I think it would be posted a bunch on TikTok, like the instrumentals and some of the songs. And overall, I think the album would be received a lot better if it came out today, just because, as I said earlier, this type of sound now is a little bit more saturated, and the production style is more saturated than what it was when it dropped in 2019. So people are more used to hearing that type of music. It's not really as experimental as it was back in 2019. And I'm not saying this because I think T-Lop 4 wouldn't stand out today. I just think it would garner more praise from the mainstream audience more so than it did in 2019. Just off the fact that people are more in tune with this type of sound. A good example of this, just think of the Whole Lotta Red effect, but on Pierre's music. And with that being said, I think I'm gonna wrap this video up. Overall, I really think T-Lop 4 is a great project, a cult classic, and should be considered a classic. And T-Lop 4 holds up really well today. I just want to thank you guys again for tuning in and listening, and I'll be back.